Shannon, whose side are you on here?
LeBron James.
Shock.
Now, I get that they're upset a little bit. See, first of all, I get what you're trying to do, Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter, not Enes Kanter.
Whatever.
I get what you're trying to do. Now, I'm going to give him credit. You know, Skip, this summer he took a stand against that authoritarian in his native homeland of Turkey, Erdogan.
Yeah.
I give him kudos for standing up to him.
Yeah.
But this man that you tried to stand up to last night, he better than Erdogan.
Oh, is he?
Ooh, 6'9", 250, and you got to look him in his eye. Skip, I get the Knicks are upset because it looks like he took a shot at the guy that's on their current roster when he said Dennis Smith Jr. should have been a Knick. Now, he clarified it. He made it abundantly clear. I'm not taking a shot at the young man, Frank. I can't pronounce his last name. I hope he gets good so that way I can just call him Frank. So in the meantime, he's still going to be Frank. He said, I'm not taking a shot at Frank. I'm taking a shot at Phil Jackson. I'm just trolling him. I got nothing but love for this young man. He looks like he's going to be a great point guard for the Knicks. Hope it works out well for him.
Yep.
But Dennis Smith is going to be real special. And he should be in New York. That's
really?
And then all of a sudden, Enes Kanter going to pretend like he big, like he old Big Willie style. I've got some video, Skip, and I want to show it. You don't mind if I show you this video, do you?
No, I don't mind
Okay.
at all. It better be good.
It's going to be real good because he wanted to be tough last night. Hey, DJ, drop that track for me. Now, see, he going toe-to-toe. King James say, see, he should have put them hands on, put them paws on it right quick. Just touch him. Now, watch this. Watch what happens here. Now, look what happened. Okay, Russell's on the ground. Look who's moseying into your picture, Joy Taylor. What does he do to Zaza for cheap shot, Skip? He doesn't even help Russ up. Now, all of a sudden, a year later, we're supposed to think he's tough? Oh, what a minute, Skip! That's Russell Westbrook.
Well, maybe he thinks Zaza is tougher than LeBron.
Oh!
That's a very good point,
So,
Joy.
in other words,
he's afraid of Zaza, but not of the king.
what he's trying to do is endear himself to the Garden. He's trying to become like the Charles Oakland, the Xavier McDaniels, and the Anthony Mason, the tough guys that protect everything. But we know he's softer than drugstore cotton. We know he medicated cotton on the low, Joy. We know that.
So this was cotton versus cotton.
No. See, LeBron, you know what's happening, Skip? Because LeBron will heap praise on a lot of different guys. When Steph Curry got that big contract, he committed him, said, you deserve everything, bro. When Lonzo Ball became the youngest guy by 5 days to beat his triple-double record, he congratulated him. LeBron James will heap praise because he's a student of the game and he loved the sport and he will give credit when credit's due.
Yep.
But what they're starting to do is take his kindness for weakness. LeBron might have to, reach out and touch. He might have to touch somebody. See, if he start praying for him, put hands on him. You don't have to be a Catholic priest, but lay hands on one person and you'll stop him from running up in your face, Brian. Kanter was in the wrong, Skip. He had nothing to do with this. The man dunked the ball. Frank was upset. He tried to bump into LeBron. LeBron was just bouncing around like, whoa! That LeBron bouncing around, he's shrugging that stuff off. Just shrugging it off and everything, and he mad. And then Kanter way at the other end come running. He should have ran into a two-piece. No biscuit. That'll put an end to that. But I'm on LeBron's side because he did nothing wrong. LeBron's a nice guy, but they take his kindness for weakness. But Kanter, you're going to get what you're looking for. You're going to run up on the right one at the wrong time. Ain't going to help you. Take it away, Mr. Bayless.
You know, and I know, LeBron James is a lover, not a fighter.
Okay.
He fights nobody. He might act big and bad and tough, but he does not back it up. I've never, ever seen him back it up.
He does it every night.
I'd give him about 50-50 against Enes Kanter to win that fight, about 50-50.
Whatever.
I'm not sure Kanter is all that either, to your point. But in this case, I am on the right side because I'm on the Knicks side. And for once in my life, I'm on Enes Kanter's side. And I've had my Twitter spats with him back in his Oklahoma City Thunder days. But in this case, I applaud him for getting in the face of a LeBron James who was completely out of line. He was out of line back in Dallas when he made that statement. You don't have to take a shot at the Knicks' 19-year-old point guard. I know it's a compliment for Dennis Smith Jr., or maybe it's just a shot at Phil Jackson.
Isn't that what he said?
He did say that.
Okay, then.
But there's collateral damage, and LeBron James has been around long enough and is certainly smart enough to know there's the collateral damage of the 19-year-old who's not from the United States of America. Maybe that makes him an easier target. I don't know. But LeBron is so shrewd an operator that he knew by association he's condemning the Knicks point guard as not all that, not Dennis Smith Jr. And by the way, Dennis Smith Jr. in his start so far in this league, he's 2-10 for the Dallas Mavericks, just for the record. So he hasn't exactly changed life in Dallas just yet.
Well, how about this?
Maybe he will.
How about this? I know Frank is not from the States, but let me tell you what's universal. Around the world when you're playing ball.
Yeah.
When somebody dunked the ball and you run into him, you normally catch hands. He lucky he didn't catch them hands from LeBron. But carry on.
So LeBron was out of line getting into this to start with, even though he tried to backtrack at the shoot-around yesterday. And then he was certainly out of line during this incident because let's get this straight. So he alley-oop dunks on the Knicks.
Dunk.
Boy, that's a big, bad play. I'm impressed. I'm scared. And then he dares to stoop to trying to bully and intimidate the 19-year-old point guard of the New York Knicks by getting in his way as Frank Ntilikina, to say that right?
I think so,
It's the
yeah.
first time I ever tried to say it publicly. Ntilikina, he's just trying to pick up the basketball so he can take it out of bounds to throw it in. Walk around the king. It's just a bully tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So LeBron outweighs this kid by, what, 60 or 70 pounds? Boy, that's a bad man, LeBron James. Are you impressed that he would do that to try to intimidate this kid? And I loved what this kid did. He pushed him back. He just said, get out of my way.
And what Bron do?
Yeah.
Bron shook it off.
He shook it off. Well, yeah.
I thought it was Taylor Swift. Shake it off.
So
he shook it off, didn't he?
What did you
He
tell
is
me?
the Taylor Swift of the NBA. So.
He is Taylor
Joey
Swift.
mind your mouth now.
I mean, he is.
Trick daddy.
He is.
She trick daddy of the NBA.
He is.
Come on.
Run up on him if you want to.
Come on
the
now.
drama queen of the NBA. I can
relax.
say that. And all of this, all of the above, just to keep this in the big picture context, this is exactly why Kyrie Irving said, get me out of here.
Let Kyrie go.
I'm letting him go, but I just want to frame this. It happened. It's only with LeBron could this happen during a November game at Madison Square Garden. So they all take the subway before the game, and it's all over the internet.
Yeah.
And whose idea was that? It was Bron's idea, and to his credit, he says, I've never ridden a subway in New York, so good. But he makes the whole team go with him.
Yeah.
It kind of helps because you need a couple of bodyguards on the subway.
What, 45 minutes on the bus or 6 minutes on the subway?
6 minutes on the subway, so I get it, but it's all over the internet, and you can't tell me it's a little self-promotional, and it's fine, but that's what Kyrie is saying. No, get me out of here, because Kyrie would have been dragged down the subway with the team.
Oh, Lord.
Well, if Kyrie says, I'm going to take the bus, or I'm
Let
going to
him
take
take
the
it.
car, then he looks like he's going his separate way, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work, and so Kyrie said, I can't live with this anymore,
Good.
especially off the court. I can't live with it.
Good.
Okay, so back to this incident. So listen what this kid said. This is how he explained it, Ntilikina. He says, he was in my way to get the ball out of bounds. It could have been anyone, so I just pushed him to get the ball. It could have been anyone, said Frank Ntilikina. And it's great because, as Jeff Hornacek said, he stood up to the best player in the league.
Hold on. What did Hornacek say?
Okay, we all give you that. We give you best player on the planet.
Okay, then.
When it comes to shooting free throws, I don't know, but
No, we discussed that.
we're going to get to that in
Okay.
a little bit. But,
Yeah.
but my point is, I loved what he said, and then I must admit, even though Enes Kanter's not exactly a lifelong Knick yet, but he's talking about it's his house now.
Yeah, he tried to endure himself.
Okay, the kid did endear himself to Knicks Nation, or just Knicks. There's not even Knicks Nation. It's just Knicks fans at the Garden, because they like their players. We've had Michael Rappaport on. They like them tough.
Yeah.
They like them to stand
love
up to anybody who walks
Charles
into their
Oakley,
house.
the late Anthony
and by the
Mason.
way, you are so lucky that Charles Oakley was not a Knick last night, or Anthony Mason was not a Knick, or Charles
Xavier
Johnson, or
X-Man.
Starks, or name somebody. You were lucky. LeBron was so lucky, and I get he's got such high basketball IQ. He's computing. Is there anybody who could stand up to me on the Knicks? No. Maybe Enes Kanter? No, not Enes Kanter.
No.
So he's going to try to bully the 190-pound point guard because he knows he can get away with it. But the kid stood up to him, and then I even loved what Kanter said.
Kanter with them lame remarks.
lame remarks?
Yeah.
Really? I
Oh,
don't
he
think
said,
so.
what did he call himself? The king, the queen, the princess. Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and that was beautiful because he put LeBron
Lame.
in his place.
How about this here? What he trying to explain, this is what he should have told the reporters. Whether he, hey, first of all, before I say go any further, we took the L. We had a 23-point lead at one point. We had a 15-point lead starting the fourth quarter. I took the L. But whether he called himself king, queen, or princess, I'm going to stand up to him. But he put that dog on us in the fourth quarter, and it was over. That's what he should say. Call him what you want to. You can say he weak, you can say he's soft, but call him a 4-time MVP. Call him a 3-time champion. Call him the best player breathing oxygen out of 7 billion. As long as you preface everything you say about LeBron with that first, call him what you want to.
But you know what? Enes Kanter does have some track record in this league. I know he doesn't have any track record with the Knicks, but he's a pretty good player. If you want to call him like a sixth man, he's one of the best six men in the league.
Joy, he was so good last night when the game hung in the balance, the last 3 minutes in the ball game. Can you tell the fans at home where was Mr. Kanter at that time?
I think we should ask Mr. Hornacek where he was because that was a fatal mistake by the head coach of the New York Knicks because, help me out, what did your researcher tell you? How many points had Enes Kanter scored until the fourth quarter, before the fourth quarter? Help me out.
He had like 20-something.
He had like 20 on the dot.
20 on the dot.
Okay,
it was 9 of 15.
So Enes Kanter scores 20 points against those vaunted Cleveland Cavaliers in
had
3
16
quarters.
rebounds, yeah.
So why didn't he get to finish the game? Because of defensive matchups or mismatches? And we all know Enes Kanter isn't much of a defender. That was his problem with Oklahoma City. That's why he is now a Knick.
Hold on. He was a Utah Jazz, too, so this is his third team, so let's not lose. So Enes Kanter had 20 points, 16 rebounds, and was -6. So in other words, he was doing absolutely nothing.
Do you realize your team is 7-7?
Do you realize?
Do you realize your team was a 5-point favorite at the Garden last night, and you're smoking in celebration?
On them great.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.